pilot. Now headed back to the yard. So this over the weekend, have a nice weekend off. Start it all up again Monday. First start out as an owner operator, you're going to have not difficulty getting loads, but some companies, some brokers, some shippers are not going to want to do business with you immediately, and because you have a brand new MC number, brand new DOT number, and that's just their policies, internal procedures that they choose to follow for whatever reason. But it's not a big deal, because for everyone that won't, there's about 1,000 that will. So if somebody says, hey, your number's too new, we can't do business with you for 90 days or 180 days or whatever it is, don't worry about it. Just say thank you very much and make a note of that for yourself, and pick up the phone and call the next number. And the next one won't care. And they'll give you a number, so give me your MC number and give that to them. And they'll send you a carrier packet, get you set up so you can haul the load that you're interested in. And something else too, is I hear people that are new to trucking in particular, and people that are not necessarily new to trucking, maybe been a company driver for years, but haven't owned their own truck, they're new to being an owner operator. When they call up the broker, there's not much of a conversation you need to have, really. I've heard people want to call up and tell the brokerage and tell whoever they're talking to all about their company, how their trucking company is different, how it's special, when it was started, who it was started by, and all that stuff. All that is nice on a personal level, but from the booking freight level, the truth is nobody cares. All they want to know is, do you have an active motor carrier authority? Do you meet their criteria? In other words, that somebody that they're willing to allow to haul loads for? And if you do, or do you have a truck, where you just have one truck or a fleet or whatever, do you have a truck available in a location that they have a load that needs to be picked up? And if all that is yes, then the next thing that they're going to be concerned about is, can you come to an agreement on a rate as far as what you're willing to haul it for versus what they're willing to pay? And that's it. Nobody cares about all the other stuff. So when you call up a broker, all you really need to say is, I'm calling about your load that you have in Richmond, Virginia, picking up Friday and delivering on Monday to Charlotte, North Carolina, and I've got a reference number from the 123 load, or the DAT load, or whatever. And then they'll say, all right, you got a reference number, give it to me. All right, reference number is 48256 or whatever it is. And it'll take a couple of seconds, they'll pull the load up in the computer and say, yeah, that load is 53102 swing doors, it's 35,000 pounds, is general commodities, it's going to a distribution center, whatever, give you the particulars about it. And then sometimes they'll say, and it pays $1,200, or some other figure, whatever it is that they're wanting you to take it for. Sometimes they won't say that. Sometimes they will say, what's your rate or something of that nature. So you need to already have that figured out before you make a call to begin with. You need to look at the miles on the load. You need to know what the current average freight rates are. You need to know what your own costs are, your fixed and your variable costs, and you ought to already have a figure in mind what you want to book that load for. And then you also need to have a bottom dollar that you won't book it below, because you're not going to make any money. You know what your costs are. You're not going to haul stuff for free and then pay on top of it to do that. So you have a minimum amount that you won't go below, and in your line or on a scrap piece of paper or something, you have the actual target rate that you're wanting to book it for. And you might even have another figure, as we often do, that is in between those 2 points. So we have the dollar amount that we want to book the load for, and then we have the bottom cutoff for us, and that's not our cost per mile or our break even. It's a much higher amount than that. In other words, if we can't get what we want to a certain level, we won't haul it. We'll let it sit on the dock, or let somebody else haul it. We're not going to book it. I'd rather run the truck back empty. Now that's me. I'm not saying you should do that. Everybody's unique and has their own situation. If you have truck payments, you have trailer payments, you have house payments, and credit card bills, and all kinds of things, then your situation is going to be different from somebody that doesn't have any of that. And so you have to know your own situation, know your own cost, know your own break even, and then also be above that what it is that you want to haul it for. And so you already figured all that out before you pick up the phone and make the phone call. And you say, well, I'm looking for $1,200 or whatever the amount is. And also always ask for a little bit more than what your target amount is, because a lot of times they're going to, whatever you give them, they're going to come back most often and try to counter that. And they're going to try to counter that at some fee, at least slightly below what you're asking. It might be $50, $100, or $200 less. So just keep that in mind. So don't necessarily ask for exactly what it is that you want. Ask for a little bit more than that. So when they counter it, you're going to get what you originally wanted anyway. So just a couple of things to think about. And then also, the longer that you are hauling freight, the easier it's going to get. Now, as I said, I've been in trucking for 2.5+ decades and counting, done all kinds of things. If you're a real curious type, you can go to ldsoil.com, read the about page, and you can get a kind of scenario of my background, or watch some of the other videos where I talk about that. But got a lot of experience in trucking, but as far as having our own authority and being an independent owner-operator and getting ready to build a fleet, we've only been doing that since April of this year, 2021. And I can tell you already, people are beginning to call us. There's more and more brokers, more and more shippers, more and more people that are either we've hauled loads for already, or that are getting our information off of various internet sites and starting to call us and looking to see if they have it. And what they want to know is simple, same thing again. They don't want your life's history, they don't care about all that. They've already ascertained that you're able to haul freight for them, and what they want to know now is, do you have a truck, or is your truck in a location that they need a load picked up? If it is, then you can talk details, particulars, price, that kind of stuff. You can come to a meeting of the minds. If you've already got a carrier packet set up with them, it's very simple. They're just going to email you or fax you or whatever a rate confirmation. As long as that's what you agreed to, you sign off on it, send it back, boom, you got your next load. So not a big deal. It's just a matter of learning, and it's also a matter of being willing to negotiate. If you just go out there, there's plenty of brokers and plenty of other people who will be happy to book loads with you if you just take the rate that they're throwing out there, that they're offering, which is almost always lower than what they're willing to pay. So by simply asking for more money, let's say a particular load has an amount online that they're offering $800. Let's say you just ask for a little bit more than that. Let's say that you ask for $1,000. You ask for $200 more than what they're offering, and you book the load for that. Well, in less than a minute, in just a few seconds, you made $200 basically, just simply by asking for it. And a lot of people aren't going to do that because they don't like sales, and don't like, they're uncomfortable talking money, all this stuff. And that's fine. $1,200 to $1,500, and maybe a couple $300 for a trailer payment if you have a finance trailer, finance truck. But by simply asking for a little bit of additional money on each load, and sometimes they're not going to give it to you, but like I said, on average, you can increase it significantly. Let's say again that you average an additional $200 per load. You can pay for your truck, you can pay for your insurance just off of doing that alone. So, just a little bit of information for you to consider. You know, you do you. You do whatever makes you happy. But I'm telling you, more often than not, if you ask for it, you'll get it. If you ask for more money, if you ask for reasonable amounts. Now, if the average rate, say for example, that a load should be paying $1,200. If you go in there and ask $5,000 for that load, they're probably going to laugh at you, maybe hang up on you. Sometimes, you know, I mean, there are people that are desperate enough where they'll pay crazy money, but more often than not, you just going to make them mad. If I was a broker or a shipper and you asked me for $5,000 for something that should be paying around $12 for the market, I would be not happy with you, and I probably wouldn't be inclined to use you. And if I did use you, I'd be inclined to try to lowball you on everything, because I don't like people that do that personally. And I don't mind. It's just me asking for something that's in your favor, and certainly. But when you ask for crazy things, you're going to tick people off. Now, having said that, there are people that do that. They make it work. They don't care about pissing people off. They're not necessarily looking at long term, you know, as far as building or establishing mutually beneficial relationships. They're looking at it from a win-lose situation. They're just trying to get the highest dollar they can, regardless of whether the broker makes any money or whether the shipper, you know, pays an amount that they're comfortable paying. That's not the way I choose to do business. I want to make good money, but I want it to be a mutually beneficial relationship for all sides, and hopefully it's a long-term relationship. And I've already established some of those, so we're already getting repeat loads and repeat business from people that we've already hauled loads for, and they're starting to call us. And they also know, you know, what we're about, what we want to haul, where we like to run, you know, what kind of pay we're looking for. You know, we're not going to try to take everything that they've got, their broker, try to take all